My parents told me they couldn't afford to take me on vacation. Then, I saw my sister's kids flying first class. I didn't say anything, but a week later, they weren't smiling anymore. I've always been the less favored sibling, not the one who gets praised at family dinners, just there. My sister, Sarah, was the star, the perfect daughter, loving wife, and caring mom. My parents always did so much for her. Me? I was just the responsible one, who didn't ask for much, worked hard, paid my bills, and often had extra money when family needed help. It started small. "Danny, could you help with the electricity bill?" my mom once asked. I'd just started my first job, and I was happy to help. Then my sister needed help. "Liam needs braces, and it's really expensive," she said, and so on, helping with bills, repairs, and buying school supplies for my niece and nephew. "You're so lucky, Danny," my mom would say. "You don't have all these responsibilities like Sarah." Lucky, they called it. I told myself it was fine. It's family, after all. Besides, I wasn't struggling. But there was one thing I'd always wanted: to travel. I'd dreamed about going to Italy for years, saving money, imagining myself there. But every time I got close, something came up: a family emergency, an unexpected expense, or guilt. So when I finally booked my dream trip to Italy, I paid for everything myself and told no one. It was my one selfish act. I was waiting at the airport, feeling excited but tired. Then I heard my sister's voice. "No, Liam, put your backpack down. The seats are huge." I turned around, and there they were, Sarah, my niece and nephew, and my parents, all in the priority boarding line, laughing and relaxed. First class. I couldn't believe it. My parents, who said they couldn't afford a trip for me. My sister, who always claimed they were struggling. I took a deep breath. Maybe they had saved up for this. Maybe it was a miracle. Then I heard my mom laugh. "Oh, I still feel bad we couldn't take Danny," she said. "Please," Sarah laughed. "He wouldn't have fit in." The words stung. I didn't say anything. I just watched them walk into first class, unaware I was there, and in that moment, something inside me changed. I didn't call or text them. For the first time, I let the silence be. Normally, I was the one checking in, making sure they were okay, but this time, nothing, and it felt good. My trip to Italy was everything I dreamed of: exploring ancient streets, drinking espresso, and standing in front of the Colosseum. I should have been happy, and I was, but at night, when I sat on my hotel balcony, I kept thinking about what Sarah had said at the airport. "He wouldn't have fit in." Those words stayed with me. It wasn't about the money. It was the realization that my family never saw me as part of their inner circle. They laughed at me. I wasn't a priority. I was just there to make their lives easier. A week later, when I returned, the call started. First, my mom. "Hey, sweetheart, how was your trip?" she asked cheerfully. I said flatly, "It was great." Then she asked, "Could you help us with groceries this month?" I let the silence sit for a moment. Then I laughed bitterly. "Groceries? You mean the ones you bought on your way back from first class?" She went silent. Then, nervously, she said, "It's not what you think. We had airline miles saved up, and Sarah found a good deal." "Don't." I cut her off. "Just don't." "Sweetheart, we didn't think you'd mind," she said finally. I was furious. "You didn't think I'd mind?" I repeated. No apology, just a casual admission they never considered me. That was the moment I decided: no more bills, no more helping out, no more being the forgotten son. 2 days later, my sister called. "What do you want, Sarah?" I said, not bothering with a greeting. She snapped. "Oh, so now you're too good to answer your family?" I smirked. "First class must have really spoiled you." "You're mad about that?" She laughed. "Grow up." "I'm growing up," I said. "That's why I'm done taking care of you." She tried to sweet-talk me, like she always did when she wanted something. "Danny, come on, you know how hard things are for us." "I still paid for Liam's soccer fees last month," I reminded her. "Well, yeah, because you always do," she said, like it was my job. "Not anymore," I said simply. She laughed bitterly. "You're selfish." I hung up, and for the first time, I felt free. The silence didn't last long. By morning, my phone was flooded with calls. First, my mom. "Daniel, this isn't okay. We're family. Call me back." Then my dad. "Don't be dramatic. Your sister and the kids need your help." And Sarah, "Are you really ignoring us now?" I didn't answer. Instead, I made a coffee and sat in silence, feeling at peace for the first time in years. I hadn't had a single day in years without someone asking me for something. It felt great at first, but by noon, the guilt trips turned into panic. My mom called again. I let it go to voicemail. A minute later, a text popped up. Mom, Danny, please, we have a problem. I rolled my eyes. Another problem. Another crisis I was expected to fix. Then another text came. Mom, it's about the house. That got my attention. I sighed, debating whether to ignore it, but part of me still cared, so I called. What now? I asked when she picked up. She sighed. Daniel, your father and we didn't want to worry you, but we're behind on the mortgage. I pinched my nose. And you're telling me this now? We didn't want to bother you, she said, but now we need your help. Help? I scoffed. You mean you want me to pay it? It's just this month, she hurried, just to keep us going until things get better. Funny, I said, leaning back. You could afford first-class tickets but not your mortgage? Silence, then a sigh. It wasn't like that, she said. It was exactly like that. I cut her off. You didn't think twice about spending money on Sarah's kids, but when it comes to your own son, suddenly there's nothing left. That's not fair, she snapped. You don't get what it's like to have responsibilities, she said. You don't understand raising kids. You're right, I said coldly. I was too busy taking care of your problems to have my own life. Silence, then, softer, she said, Danny, we need you. And that was the truth. They needed me, not because they loved me, but because without me, everything would fall apart. I know, I said, but you'll have to figure it out without me. I hung up, and this time, I didn't feel guilty. The next few days were quiet. No texts, no calls, no guilt trips. For once, I felt free, but I knew it wouldn't last. Sure enough, 3 days later, my sister showed up at my apartment. I heard the knock before I even looked at my phone. Sarah, I muttered. Open the door, she called. I took my time. I wasn't in a rush to deal with her. When I opened the door, she stormed in. What is wrong with you? She shouted, throwing her purse on my kitchen counter. Excuse me? I raised an eyebrow. Mom's losing it, Dad's freaking out, and now I'm stuck dealing with it all because you decided to have a bad attitude. I crossed my arms. You mean you're finally dealing with it? She rolled her eyes. Don't be so dramatic. You know they need help. You're just punishing them because you're jealous. Jealous? I laughed. Yes, I'm mad because you didn't invite me to the trip. That's totally what this is about. She scoffed. Oh please, tell me what's really going on. I took a deep breath. It's not about the trip, Sarah. It's about how I've always been the one making sure this family stays afloat. I've paid bills, helped with your kids, fixed things, while you and Mom and Dad acted like I wasn't even here unless you needed money. She crossed her arms. That's not true. Isn't it? I asked. When was the last time Mom called just to check in? Or Dad asked how I was? The only time I hear from you is when you need something, and I let it happen because I thought that's what family does. But then I saw you all in first class, laughing about how I wouldn't fit in. Her face went pale. I had her. So no, I continued, this isn't about the trip. This is me realizing, for the first time, that I was never really part of this family. I was just your safety net, and I'm done. Sarah's mouth opened and closed, but she couldn't speak. Finally, she grabbed her purse. Fine, she said, smirking, do what you want, but don't come crying when you realize your mistake. I smiled. Don't worry, I won't. She slammed the door on her way out. For the first time, I felt free. The next day, my phone lit up with a message from my dad. Dad, Daniel, come over for dinner Sunday. We need to talk. I almost laughed. We need to talk was code for we need you to do something for us, and you're going to say yes, not this time. Me, I'm busy. A minute later, my phone rang. I sighed, answering just out of curiosity. What? I said. Daniel, my dad said, trying to sound reasonable. Enough is enough, you're acting childish. Am I? I said, leaning back, because from where I'm sitting, I'm the only one acting like an adult. There was a pause, then he sighed. Son, you're making this harder than it needs to be. We're family. Families don't abandon each other. Abandoned? I repeated, like how you abandoned me at the airport? Another pause. That's not fair, he said. Maybe not, I said, but you didn't not mean it either. Silence, then the shift. Look, your mother's upset. She's crying. She just wants things to go back to normal. The guilt trip. So do I said, but normal means me being treated like a walking wallet, and I'm done with that. That's not what this is about. Then why are you calling me now, Dad? I cut him off. Why didn't you call just to check in last week? Why is it only when you need money? Silence, a long one this time. Finally, he said, I don't know what you want from us, Daniel. Nothing, I said, that's the whole point. Then I hung up. For the next few days, I waited for something else, another call, another text, another unwanted visit, but nothing came. It was too quiet. Then, one evening, my phone buzzed with a message from Sarah. Sarah, I hope you're happy. Mom and Dad are in trouble because of you. I rolled my eyes. Me? They'll manage. Sarah, no, they won't. They're 2 months behind on their mortgage, and the bank's already sending notices, but I guess that doesn't matter to you. Me? It didn't matter when you were buying first-class tickets. Sarah, oh my God, let it go, that was one time. Me, and it was the one time I saw the truth. She didn't respond after that. The next morning, my mom called again. This time, I answered. Danny, she sniffled, we're in trouble. So I've heard, I said flatly, the bank, threatening foreclosure? She stayed quiet, then continued, please, just help us this one last time. One last time, I said. That's what you said the first time you asked for money. No, I said, I'm done. Danny? No, I repeated, you made your choices, now you live with them. Silence, then anger. You're being selfish, she snapped. After everything we've done for you, this is how you repay us? I couldn't believe it. Done for me? I asked, laughing bitterly. Mom, name one thing you've done for me in the last 5 years that wasn't about money. Nothing, not a single thing. That was the end of the conversation. Good luck, Mom, I said and hung up. Days passed, and then I heard the news. Sarah had finally helped. She used her savings to cover the bills for Mom and Dad, something she had never done before. She had to pay their mortgage, utilities, and some credit card debt. But it wasn't going well. I found out from a friend that Sarah and her husband were fighting over money. They had no idea how much Mom and Dad depended on me, and now it was putting a strain on their finances too. Their perfect life was falling apart, and my parents were learning what it felt like to struggle without me. And me? I felt lighter than ever. For weeks, I didn't hear from my family. I expected more calls, more guilt trips, or maybe even a visit, but everything stopped. They were too busy dealing with their problems, and for the first time, I was truly free. My paycheck was mine. No more sending money to my parents or covering Sarah's kids' school fees. I didn't have to worry about their needs anymore. I started enjoying life again. I redecorated my apartment, bought new furniture, and even treated myself to a high-end espresso machine. I went on a trip to Japan, something I had always wanted to do. I was finally living without guilt, spending my money on myself for once. It felt like a fresh start, like I wasn't just a source of income for people who were supposed to love me. Then came the shock. One night, I was scrolling through social media and saw a post tagged with Sarah's name. It was a photo of her and her husband at dinner, but something was wrong. The caption said, "Tough times don't last, but tough people do. Hang in there, Sarah." Sarah's smile was forced, and her husband looked tired. They looked older, like they'd been through a lot. I clicked through to Sarah's page, and the usual happy family photos were gone. No beach trips or birthday parties, just silence. Then I got a message from Kelly, Sarah's friend. Hey Danny, I don't know if I should be telling you this, but I think you should know things are bad at home. I hesitated but replied, why are you telling me? Because I know how much you did for them. Now that you've stopped, everything's falling apart. A few minutes later, Kelly sent a screenshot of a group chat Sarah had with her friends. I read the messages Sarah had sent about me. Sarah, Danny is such a fool. He's just watching us suffer like we deserve this. He doesn't care about anyone but himself. I had to drain my savings to keep Mom and Dad afloat. And guess what? They're still drowning. We can't keep doing this. Mark is mad. He says it's all their fault for relying on Danny in the first place. I swear to God, if Danny doesn't come crawling back soon, I don't know what we're going to do. I couldn't help but laugh. Crawling back? She still thought I needed them. A week later, I got a call from an unknown number. I almost didn't pick up, but something told me to answer. Hello? It was Dad. I hadn't heard from him in over a month. What do you want? I asked flatly. He sighed. Son, we need to talk. We really don't, I replied. Enough is enough. You've made your point. But your parents, this is getting ridiculous. I smirked. What's ridiculous? You abandoning your family over a vacation? He snapped. This isn't about the vacation. Then what is it about? I asked, tired of the same old excuses. This is about me giving everything for a family that never appreciated it. That's not true, he said quickly. Then why was I never invited to anything? I interrupted. Silence. He didn't answer, and instead said, we can fix this, your mom and I. Fix what, Dad? I cut him off again. The fact that I finally have boundaries? That I'm not letting you manipulate me anymore? You want to go back to the way it was. Silence again, and then a sigh. Sarah's struggling, Danny, she needs help. I laughed. Now Sarah needs me? She's drowning. Mark's talking about selling the house. The kids don't understand what's happening. Not my problem, I said calmly. There was silence. Then, coldly, Dad said, so that's it? You're just walking away? You walked away first, I reminded him. Remember at the airport? More silence. Then, bitterly, he said, fine, and hung up. That was the last time I heard from my dad. I thought my mom would call me again, but she never did. Sarah stopped messaging me too. A month later, I heard from a mutual friend that Sarah and Mark sold their house and moved to a smaller one. My parents had to downsize too, losing the life they'd been comfortable in. Now, they were learning what life without me felt like. And me? I was free. Free from the financial burden and free from them. I didn't owe them my money, my success, or my forgiveness. So, I blocked their numbers and never looked back. For the first time, I was living for myself, and it felt amazing.